Hey everyone, it's Nancy and welcome to Simply Beautiful Sourdough. We're going to be doing a really pretty rose score today. But first I want to tell you I have been MIA for a while because there has been a lot of medical stuff going on within our family that I have been helping to deal with. Alrighty, so we're going to start out with this loaf. This is 500 grams total of flour. 5 of those are sweet potato powder, which is making the purple color. Then 20% or 200 grams is whole wheat, and the rest is white flour. And the hydration on this one is 70%. I've been having a hard time finding a sweet spot with my hydration because when it gets warmer out, my bread likes to spread out a whole lot. I am hoping that this one won't spread on me too bad as I score, since I did bring the hydration down a little bit. It has been in the freezer for about 15 minutes right before this, just so I could firm it up just a little bit more. This is going to be a more complicated score than most of my scores, so if you're looking for something easy, this won't be the video for you. I have lots of other easy scoring videos that you can look into, but if you just want to watch a really cool score, this might be a good one. And if you're ready to take on something a little more complicated, you're going to enjoy this. Alrighty, so this requires a few tools. This is going to require some sort of round something that can mark the bread. I just have a big round cookie cutter or biscuit cutter, and also a pair of scissors. I am using kitchen shears. I have other tools I'm using. I believe the only one that to me that's necessary is a lom, and I like a UFO lom like this one because it can do both a regular ear as well as these more intricate scores. You can get that edge in there. I have links to pretty much everything down below in the description box if you would like to look into getting any of these for yourself. These are affiliate links. Speaking of affiliate links, I'm using my handy dandy Bread Basics bread sling, which I always use. I also have an affiliate link for this down in the description box below. Be sure and use my coupon code to save a little bit off of the total. I like this one because it has these nice long handles that help me get out of my very deep Dutch oven. All right, I'm going to put that right here, put my turntable over top, and we'll lift this off. And now I'm going to spray it with a little bit of water here just to help my rice flour stick real well. I am watching this spread as I talk, so I'm going to move as quickly as I can for this more complicated score. It does take a little more time. So I'm going to sprinkle rice flour liberally on here. And to lose as little of it as possible, I'm just going to try and push it around to the edges. Always easier said than done. I see other people do this a lot smoother than me. I love rose scores, and I think they're especially pretty with the purple dough. All right. Now, I always say that I take my brush and I brush off this excess flour around the edges. I'm going to do that now into the sink, and when I come back, you will see what it looks like when it's all brushed off. Now I'm going to try and center this. We're going to call that good enough. And now I'm just going to draw 2 circles around. Actually, I'm going to draw 3. 1, 2, 3. And I would say that also a wooden skewer or something with a narrow end is necessary for this as well, not only for drawing, but also for making little dots in it, which I'll show you in just a little bit. Okay, now for our rose. Roses are pretty easy. You just dig in with the corner of your lom there. Let me get this out of the way so it doesn't spin. And then coming in at a little bit of an angle, we're just going to work our way around. They look pretty, they look complicated, they are not. right, now I'm going to cut into all 3 of these circles, but I'm not going to do too awfully deep because I don't want to make this a main score and have it lift way off. I want to try and keep the score as together as possible. It's real easy to go deeper as you continue with a particular part of the pattern, so like this circle, so I have to try and stay cognizant of the fact that I'm not going deep the entire time. I do not have the most steady hand in the business. My scores always have some mistakes in them, and they're a little bit wobbly, and that's okay. It's just proof that it's homemade. Other people, I don't know how they get such steady hands, but they do a beautiful job. So now I have a total of 3 rings around the rose. So on the first ring, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to make little snips heading in one direction. So I'm doing them off to the side here. And I'm going to touch up this score to make that sure that's all the way through. You know what? I made a mistake. I actually need this circle around the outside to be cut because of needing the little snips I'm making right now to separate. I've done this score several times in practice, so I should have remembered that. I'm trying to make these as evenly spaced as possible. Now I'm going to take the scissors and I'm going to do it going the other way. So this way I did it like this. This way it's going to be like this going around the opposite direction. So we have one ring where the little points are headed this way, and the other ring the points are going to be headed the opposite direction like this. And now I'm going to take my skewer, the pointy end, and I'm just going to poke it in fairly deep so that the little spots stay all the way around on the middle of these 3 rings. All right, and now I'm going to do my functional score. Now I did it said in a video before, and I'll repeat here in case you didn't see that. If you don't want your score to lift off like a hat, point your blade down. So if I come in like this, it's going to be much more inclined to lift. But if I point my blade all the way down, as up and down as I can make it, it will more stretch between those bottom 2 scores than lift up like a hat. Make sure I got that real good. Okay, now I'm going to do one more thing. This bottom score, I'm just going to run around one more time. It's like a secondary functional score a little bit, just to further ensure that these scores don't separate in here, or try to make that happen as much as possible. I didn't do that at the beginning because it can really start separating off while I'm scoring, and that can make it a little more difficult. So I wait until very last step to do that. I am going to pop this into the oven. My Dutch oven has been heated to 500. I'm going to lower the temperature down to 425, and I'm going to bake it for 40 minutes covered. Then I'm going to take the lid off, and I'm going to bake it for another 15 minutes or so uncovered. I've learned I have to do that because if I don't, my loaves don't bake enough and they're kind of gummy along the bottom. So I'll see you back when I take the lid off the Dutch oven. Let's see how our rose score turned out. Little puff of steam. And there it is. Isn't it pretty? Here's why I like the long handles. I can lift that right out. So there's our sides. You can see our main score went straight down there. So I'm going to put this back in the oven, lid off for another 15 minutes or so, just to get it a little bit more brown and make sure it's nice and done. we'll be back with the final bake. Well, here's our beautiful rose loaf. Now, it's not perfectly round. This always happens to me. Rarely do I have a loaf that's completely symmetrical, but it's still quite pretty. Our rose broke up a little bit right here. That's okay. The rest of it looks pretty good. I'm real impressed that all of my bands going around stayed intact. When I cut into this, it's going to be really pretty with the pink from the sweet potato powder. I don't know if I'm going to do a crumb reveal or not. I might. You might want to stick around and see if I do that, because I often will put these in the freezer as half loaves since there's just two of us. I want to thank you very much for watching my video, taking just a little bit of your time to spend with me. If you found this helpful or enjoyable or informative, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like button for me. It helps the video a ton. If you like different types of scoring videos and a little bit of sourdough, other stuff thrown in, please do subscribe and comment down below. That is so much fun for me when I get to interact with you guys. That is my reward. Okay, that is all. We will see you on the next scoring video. Bye-bye and be blessed. It's time to check out the crumb. By the way, I'm filming this portion on my phone, so if it doesn't look quite the same, that's why. I just don't know how to make the other camera come in at the right angle. Here we go. One good slice. See what we got. So there we are. That's not too bad. A little bit of a tight crumb. And I think maybe I could have pushed fermentation a little bit further, maybe. These holes right here are likely from shaping, I'm going to guess, but if anybody has a better guess than me, please let me know. I'm not super good at reading crumb. I will say I'm really happy that it's not underbaked on the bottom. So I think overall, this is going to be a yummy one to eat, and it certainly is pretty to look at with that pink color. Hey everyone, it is Nancy Ann. Today I'm going to be recording. Nope, that's not the way I wanted that to come out. Okay, let me start that again. One more time. Hey everyone, it is Nancy Ann. That's my name. And now I got to think of what else. Wow, this is hard. Hey, nope, that didn't sound good. And we are going to be doing a rose. No, I repeated that too many times. Need to put the gloves on. All right, here we go. Let's see how our rose score. One more time.